Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Friday, everybody. We are back for the sentencing. Yesterday, Cordarra Tuitt got convicted of 8 counts, including murder of Mr. Quintarius Wright, amongst other things, murder and a host of other charges. He was found guilty in a court of law by a jury of his peers. Okay. And they were unable to do the sentencing yesterday because it was a little later in the afternoon, and his attorney, Miss Fagan, requested that his family be notified and in attendance, which that makes good sense. So that was very nice that um kind of slowed things down and gave him the evening to be able to process what had just occurred. I'm sure it's very kind of, I mean, we don't know what he was thinking while on trial, but at the end of the day, it I'm sure he had a moment to process and kind of absorb what was getting ready to happen. So that kind of slowed things down a little bit, right? Anyway, let's get into it, guys. Sir is getting ready to get his sentencing. It looks like it was a little bit action packed. It started not too long ago. Um, it's he turned on his feet about an hour ago, but let's just say probably in the last 30 minutes everything occurred. So let's go ahead and get into it, guys. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Tap in as you come in. Tap in as you come in. Let's get into it, guys. Let's go back just a little bit just to make sure we're hearing everything.
Let's get back on the record in State versus Tuitt then. This is 22 SC 185328. It is Friday, October 10th. And we have Mr. Tuitt here in court with his lawyer, Ms. Fagan. We have a prosecutor, one of the two on the case, Ms. Jones-Connor. And we also have a guilty verdict. Yesterday, a jury found Mr. Tuitt guilty of murder, 3 counts of felony murder, aggravated assault, and 3 associated firearms offenses. It is time for sentencing, and we will proceed with that. I'd like to hear from the state as to their recommendation, if there are any victim impact statements, and how they think merger works with these various counts.
Thank you, Your Honor. And Your Honor, would you like me to remain seated or at the podium?
Wherever you'd like to be, as long as you're near a microphone. Ms. Rivers will be happy.
So, Your Honor, just following up, it is correct that Mr. Tuitt was found guilty by a jury yesterday afternoon, finding him guilty of all charges in the indictment, 8 counts. There was a recidivist notice previously filed in this case. 2 of those convictions have been tendered as part of the state's main record.
So let's talk about the recidivist notice. I didn't bring it out here, so I'm going to find it in the docket. My recollection, first of all, it was filed by Mike Carlson, so it was way back when, and it didn't include either of the convictions that were in the indictment. And so I don't know that Mr. Tuitt was on notice for recidivist purposes of those. He certainly knew about these other convictions because they were named in the indictment, but we need to be thoughtful about how we navigate the recidivist piece. I'm gonna pull the notice up.
Yes, Your Honor, and before, I noted the same thing from the record, so we do have a certified copy of all convictions. Mr. Tuitt carrying, I believe a total close to 12.
Okay, but he may have 1,000 convictions. My understanding of the recidivist notice is you must list the convictions upon which you're gonna rely. You can't just say, oh, and there may be others.
Yes, Your Honor. So,
okay.
To clarify, what the state is saying is the ones contained within the filed recidivist notice, we do have a separate certified copy that we will tender before the state concludes its portion of the sentencing.
Okay, that notice filed in July of 2024 lists 3 convictions, all from Fulton, all 12 SC cases, 2 robberies and 1 terroristic threats.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so do you agree that that's the sum and substance of what you can rely on for recidivist purposes?
For recidivist purposes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
But it happens to be 3, which is the magic number to make Mr. Tuitt an A and C recidivist.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
And so in regards to taking note of that, and again, we will tender all 3 before we conclude with the second portion of sentencing. But in regards to that, the recommendation from the state would be as to count 1, murder, life without the possibility of parole. Felony murder in counts 2, 3, and 4 would vacate by operation of law. Count 5, aggravated assault, would merge into count 1. Count 6, possession of a firearm during commission of a felony, would merge into count 8. Count 7, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, would merge into count 8. And then count 8, which is use of a firearm by a convicted felon, we would recommend a sentence of 15 years to serve consecutive to count 1.
Is count 8, is that statute one that is a mandatory consecutive, or you are merely recommending that it be consecutive?
A mandatory consecutive, Your Honor.
Okay. And while you're recommending life without parole, my understanding, assuming you've got 3 certified copies, is that it's not only a recommendation, but it's the sentence that applies given Mr. Tuitt's recidivist status.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
That as well. Your Honor, before the state continues on, we would ask, you have seen many members of Mr. Quatavius Wright's family present during the course of this trial, during the course of the case. We would like to begin with a victim impact statement from his sister, who is present today.
Okay. We're hearing something different. I'm happy to hear from whomever. It could be sister or mom or aunt. We just need to do one at a time.
And we were asking that to do both, and we'll follow their order.
Okay, great. And what I'll ask you to do is to come sit in the seat that just had, okay, right there. Great. So ma'am, if you could please introduce yourself so the court reporter can reflect who you are, and then I'd like you to share with me anything and everything about Mr. Wright, your connection to him, the impact that his murder has had on you and your family's life.
Thank you, Judge Ronnie. Good morning, of course. My name is Cordarra Wright. I'm the mother of Quintavious Wright, Quintavious Keon Wright. I didn't know I was going to do my impact this morning. I thought my uncle would be here. Apparently, he's running late. So bear with me. I'm still grieving. I want to say that Quintavious Wright, Keon Wright, is my first son.
Hold on one sec. Sorry about that. We'll try to make that not happen again. I don't know what that was. Keep going.
Quintavious is my first son. So having him out of having 3 girls first was not just a blessing. It was amazing for me to know that because I thought I couldn't have a boy. So when he came in the world as my protector because he didn't cause me no problem when he was little. Took over his sister as being a little big brother. So that's what they call him. Quintavious played basketball. He was a sports fanatic, so he played basketball, sports. Also attended Atlanta Area Tech in college. Was getting ready to go back to school to get his auto mechanic license. Quintavious was very wise. He was very strong. Quintavious got 3 kids. Previous Quintavious got a son. We brought him in the world January 4th. So Quintavious lost his life August the 7th. So he really didn't get a chance to see his son. I hate this happened to both of the gentlemen. Mr. Cordarra Tuitt, I want him to know I pray for him because not only he hurt me by shooting Quintavious in his chest, every man knows that a mother's heart is the first love of a son is the mother. So he's gonna hold her right here on his chest. So when you shoot somebody right there, you indirectly talking to the mother. And to shoot him in his back is another symbol of, I don't want you to be able to walk again. That's not fair to me, and that's not fair to his mother. And I want him to apologize to me and his mother for causing us so much pain. Because we don't know each other. So he made us dislike each other. And I don't dislike his mom, because I know she did the best she could with him. At some point in form, he don't have to tell me today, but when he sleep at night, just apologize to me. And also, before he leave this world, I want him to apologize to his mother. Because when we come in the world, they come in the world, we don't come with instructions on being a parent. So it's very hurtful to see your son treat another human being the way he did. And it's senseless on both ends for all of them. I watched the videos over and over and over, and I did not see a reason for what they did. All of them was wrong. And it hurt Judge Young. It hurt me to my soul, to the point where I had to get therapy 2 times a week. And I'm on medication that somebody never did. And it's the first time in my life, of course, I've never been able to help my child. I couldn't help my son. And that's something I never been able to not do. My kids depend on me. And it's 6 of them, 2 deceased and 4 living. All my kids are independent. My daughter right there, Rochelle Jones, she's very independent. I have another daughter, Charlotte, Tommy, and my other son, Cortez. So the impact this didn't hurt me, it hurt them. And it's the first time, if anybody has a parent, you help is when you see your children suffering like that. So not only did he hurt me, he hurt my children. He hurt Quintavious' daughter, who's very, very fond of her dad, who's in therapy. He hurt his kids, trying to be a hero for the streets. He hurt his mom, and those are the only 2 people in his life I'm consider important to him. And that's his mother, his father, and his kids, if he have any. So he owed them an apology. So I'm not here to damage him or bash him. I want him to understand how he hurt everybody, because we all hurting. So for the courts to take his life, it's just senseless. And I mean senseless. And I like the courts. Let me say, Quintavious' name is Quintavious Kewan White, and she don't get the right to call him Smoke, because I have never in my life called him Smoke. I don't agree with street names, so my kids know that about me. We can't control how our kids move above life when they go out in the world. We can only save them so far. And to damage his name, to make him look like he this monster, is not fair to me. And one day I want to apologize to me and my family, because I never gave him that name, and I never called him back that name. And I want Mr. Tuitt to know I'm going to keep him in my prayers. I thought about him last night, and I said, out of all these, they both lost. Quintavious lost his life, and he losing his life. And that's not fair to me, my children, his children, nobody, because he didn't have a reason. There's no legitimate reason. Judge, I'm not asking for links on what he did, because what he did with Quintavious was so terrible. It was so terrible to shoot a person when he already did, and then turn around and shoot him again. And he never took the stand and tell me why, not y'all, me, why he decided to hurt Quintavious the way he did. That's not fair. And one of these days, I want him to tell the world. He just said in the universe, come a spiritual person to get that he is truly sorry for what he did to me and his mom. Because I know his mom was hurting just like me, because she done did everything she can for him. Everything in the world, and this is what he gave her in the end. He gave her life in prison. That's not fair to her and his children. That's all I have to say.
Ms. Wright, I appreciate you being here and sharing that. Mr. Tuitt left a hole in your life and your family's life that you can't fill. I didn't realize that Mr. Wright was your first son, and that's a terrible loss. You'll be grieving for a while. My hope is that this process brings you at least some closure. It certainly doesn't bring Mr. Wright back, but it shows you that people took this seriously and did something about it. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you. And I want to say to the court, the district attorney office, Mr. Adam Abadi, and this lady here, and this lady, they have dealt with me for 3 years, and I'm sort of hard to deal with. But I appreciate them for what they did.
Well, you have a basis for being hard to deal with right now. Your son was shot and killed, so I don't fault you at all. I guess I should add, I appreciate you bringing that up. I'm sorry that it took so long for this day to come. Cases shouldn't languish that long. I'm sure the prosecutors told you why there were some twists and turns and ups and downs. It was not because anyone didn't care about Mr. Wright or what happened. It was for boring legal and technical reasons. But the day has come, and like I said, I hope this does bring at least partial closure for you and your family. And I'm glad you have family around you still to lift you up.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Ms. Jones-Connor, anyone else?
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
One moment, Your Honor.
Now would be the time to tender those convictions. If you have them, if you'd show them to Ms. Fagan first.
Hey, good morning, Judge.
I'm just going to say, I'm glad she called out Miss Fagan for calling her son Smoke during the trial. I wish Miss Jones-Connor would have objected to the judge and said, please, can you have the defense refer to the decedent by his government name, his legal name, and not use a street name, as his family objects to that, or they reject that name, and just out of respect, nobody's sitting up here calling Mr. Tuitt by his street name. So yeah, I feel, girl, I had some tears in my eyes. Mom's speech, that was very touching. I just hope that they get some healing at this time, because she's still going through it, and deservedly so. Okay, let's get back into it, guys. If you're just now coming in, tap in for me. Likes do matter. I appreciate y'all's support.
I showed them to Miss Fagan yesterday. I was bringing them up early, but they were marked as States Exhibits 150 through 153.
Okay, Mr. Abadi is saying you already got a chance to see them, although his numbering suggests there are 4. There really should only be 3, but.
I think he was doing the notice as well.
Oh, okay. So then that would make 4 exhibits. Yeah. Well, let's just make sure that what Ms. Jones-Connor has is the same thing you saw yesterday, and then Ms. Jones-Connor can tender them. I'll see if there are objections, and we will move forward.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I did review them yesterday. Yeah. Yes. Who has one as the, yeah, okay. No. Receive, Judge, 150 through 152.
152.
Yes, Your Honor. So because we have
It's just the 3 convictions.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
We'll tender those in since we've already been clear on the record about the recidivist notice and that
Okay.
was filed. Again, states 150 goes to the conviction in 12 SC 112693. States 151 goes to Mr. Tuitt's conviction in 12 SC 112694. And states exhibit 152 goes to Mr. Tuitt's conviction in 12 SC 112773.
Okay. Any objection to the admission of those certified copies, Ms. Fagan?
No.
All right, they're admitted. If you'll get them to Ms. Nelson, we'll get them to Ms. Rivers so they become part of the record. Anything else, Ms. Jones-Connor, from the state?
Nothing further from the state, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. Ms. Fagan, I want to handle a couple technical things first, and then the rest is yours to navigate as you see fit. Did you agree with Ms. Jones-Connor's description of what would merge and what is vacated by operation of law, such that we're really talking about sentencing only as to counts 1 and 8?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I did too. I want to make sure we didn't miss anything. Number 2, Mr. Tuitt is on probation now. And Ms. Simpson, who's on the call from probation, has been reminding me, hey, we should probably knock that out and just do a revocation. Assuming you and Mr. Tuitt are all right with it, my idea would be to simply revoke the balance, running it concurrent with whatever sentence flows from today. But I want to make sure I get that case number, which I have, on the record, and get you on the record saying we waive any due process notice rights, because I didn't put this down for a revocation hearing as well.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. The case is 19 SC 171734, and Mr. Tuitt has just over 4 years remaining on that. And so my proposal is to, as in light of the convictions from yesterday, revoke the balance of that, running that revocation concurrently with whatever sentence I impose today. Any objection to that?
No.
Okay, Ms. Jones-Connor?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Simpson, anything more you need me to say in connection with the revocation?
No, Judge, you covered it all.
Great. Last legal technical question. Do you have any disagreement with the state's proposition, Ms. Fagan, that the recidivist statutes sub A and sub C both apply in light of the 3 exhibits that were tendered?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so we are operating under the recidivist realm, which means, Mr. Tuitt, I'm confident your lawyer told you this. I have very little discretion here. I am required by law to sentence you on count 1 to life without parole. Count 8 has to be consecutive, and that's where there may be a little give, but I'll hear from Ms. Fagan on that. A sentence after life without parole in some ways is just an academic exercise, but I don't want the sentence to be what we call an illegal sentence because it's structurally unsound. But that's where we are with my sentencing options. At the very end, I'll talk about your appeal rights. But now, Ms. Fagan, I'd like to hear from you. If Mr. Tuitt has anything to say, and you mentioned there was a family member or friend or more who want to be heard as well. And now's the time.
Yes, Your Honor. So I do agree that the court's hands are tied as far as the recidivist statute and the sentencing that applies in this case. We do have Ms. Stewart that wanted to speak on his behalf. Do you prefer?
She's going to go whatever direction Deputy Gordon tells her to go.
Hi, good morning.
Hey, Ms. Stewart, can
Hi,
you
how are you?
spell your last name for us?
Sure, Stewart.
All right, and how are you connected to Mr. Tuitt?
I've been knowing him since I was like in high school. I'm 30. Been
A
knowing him.
long-term friend?
Yeah, really
Okay.
long term, super long term.
All right, what do you want to share with me?
Well, I understand the situation and on both parties that it was just, unfortunate, but I've heard I don't know his name, I don't want to call him by smoke, but his family, he also has kids, but Tuitt also has 3 kids. He has a little girl, she's 6, she looks just like him, and he also has a mother and a father, but his mother, father, not really around. He really had to raise himself and had to had obstacles he had to, do by himself. And he really didn't have no guidance. He really didn't have no structure. He really didn't have anything to like help him, no father figure, anything like that. But for most part, he is a family man. Like, he loves his family, and he will give his shirt off his back for anybody. He is very, very kind. He's very sweet. He's not a menace at all to any society. He is just like, I met him. I was really, really young and immature, and he was just so quiet, and he didn't need nothing to like push up on me. He didn't try to like, he was just like trying to be cool, because guys like back in the day, well now anyways, but they're like very like aggressive and like, oh, what's your number? I want to talk to you. I knew he liked me, but it's just how he came at me. It was just different. So I like that he's just very gentle. He was very, very gentle with me. And he's been really, I'm sorry, I can't even talk. He's been rehabilitated. So, he just had to come by these obstacles, but he's not a bad person, and he will give the shirt off his back to somebody. And he's not a menace. He's really not. He's just a guy that just had a lot of problems in his life, and he's just trying to overcome those problems. And I'm sorry that this is the situation that happened. I'm so sorry for you guys. I really do apologize. I'm sorry. I really do apologize about the situation, but I would hate to have two black men, like, in a really, really tough, messed up situation. So I just want you to have some type of lenience towards him, because he does have kids, and he does have a mother and father, but no type of guidance, no type of security, no type of anything when it comes to like raising a kid. He was just born. He wasn't raised, So can you just please, like, some type of leniency, please, Judge, please. And that's it.
Okay, Ms. Stewart, thank you for being here. I know.
Wow, you guys, I have never seen such a speech. I have never seen. I think this lady has come from the Sonia Durham Waller Friend School, and this is how you graduate from Pick Me School. Because, girl, why are you at the courthouse on a Friday wiping your nose with the back of your hand? Your hair is not fixed. You are trying to plead the case of a man who shot a man in cold blood while under very precarious circumstances. Ma'am, you need to have a whole entire seat. You need to have a seat. That's a speech that we're going to have to revisit again. That's a whole episode. We're going to have to really get into that another time. But ma'am is a complete mess. And she apologized for him. Is that not a true pick me? The fact that she apologized before he did. Classic. Girl, cum laude, okay? She not only apologized for him, but before him. Wow. A mess. She said he wasn't born. He wasn't raised. He was just born. Okay, let's keep going. We'll come back to this because this was interesting.
We were here throughout much of the trial, and I think that meant a lot to Mr. Tuitt. So thank you.
Girl, he wasn't going to be with you. If he were to walk out today, he's not going to be with you. He just needed you to put money in magazines on his books.
Yes, Your Honor, I appreciate the court allowing her to speak, because she has been here and she wasn't able to be here yesterday afternoon.
Okay. I'm glad she had an opportunity to share. That's some insight into Mr. Tuitt's background as well. I got to hear about Mr. Wright, and there are two people involved. There's someone who is lost forever. There's someone who is being sent away effectively forever, but he's a person too, and learning about him is important. And that was good of Ms. Stewart to get through that. I know that wasn't easy for her. Anything else from the defense side?
I have a request. So yesterday he was sent straight to Union City. He wasn't able to get any of his items, one, and two, he's not getting. So usually my experience is in this situation, a mental health counselor will come and check in, and nobody has. And I have a concern.
Okay. I'll help manage that. Does Mr. Tuitt want to say anything? And let me say this, Mr. Tuitt, before you answer to Ms. Fagan. You have a right to say anything you want right now, but you don't have to say anything at all. There's no burden or obligation. But I make an error if I don't give you either directly or through your lawyer an opportunity to speak. And I've let Ms. Fagan speak, but I want to make sure if you want to, you're given that opportunity. Does Mr. Tuitt want to say anything? No? Okay. All right. Mr. Tuitt, we understand, having heard from Ms. Stewart, that no one is monolithic. There's not just the guy we saw on the landing shooting Mr. Wright, not once or twice, but 6 times. There's more to everyone. You're a father, you have family, you have people who care about you a lot. And I get that. What I'm faced with, though, is not the part of you that will give your shirt off your back. I'm faced with the guy who in broad daylight on film shot someone point blank range 6 times, taking his life. In some ways, we're fortunate that the only loss, and it's a forever loss, is Mr. Wright. It would have been so easy for more people to have been shot. Who knows, when officers get involved and they hear shots, what could happen? But we have the added tragedy that you are lost to your family, in the sense that you're not going to be able to be there on the holidays or the family reunions. They can come see you. You can't come see them. That is the price we exact from people who do what you did. And I'm going to seize upon one of the words Ms. Wright used, and that's senseless. I don't get it. I don't get why Mr. Wright's walking around with a gun in his waistband in an apartment complex with kids everywhere, while you had a gun. And heck, Mr. Forte acknowledged he had a gun. It's an unfortunate circumstance that is the norm in some parts of our community. And I'm not blaming those parts of our community. I'm blaming our whole community, because we shouldn't let it be that way. The fact that you were born but not raised means that the community let everyone down because you had to pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. We all ought to have at least a parent or someone who is assisting in some way, and a school system that means something, et cetera. But I can vent and rage all day long, and it's not going to change anything. You found yourself in your environment and made some decisions, and they may have been split-second decisions, although, as Ms. Fagan pointed out more than once, actually it was a 30-minute process to which everyone brought guns, and we see what happens all too often. And the only silver lining I see out of this is that, again, Ms. Wright, you and your family have some closure, that people cared and brought this case. It came in. It wasn't easy for Mr. Forte to come in here and say what he said, and he risked some things by doing that, and Ms. Forte as well. So I think that's important, that the process works that way. It doesn't bring Mr. Wright back. It doesn't give Mr. Tuitt a chance in 10 years to say, look, I'm changed. I got a degree while I was in prison, and I now minister to people in need. You're not going to have that possibility for a rebound. Mr. Tuitt, I'm sentencing you, count 1, as required by law, to a term of life without imprisonment. Count 2, 3, and 4, those counts are vacated by operation of law. Count 5 merges into count 1. 6 merges into 8. 7 merges into 8. And 8 is 15 years to serve, and they will run consecutive to count 1.
We all heard it wrong. He said life without imprisonment. So hopefully someone's going to ask him to say it again for the record correctly. I mean, we all make mistakes. I know I make at least a few a day. But you know, for the record's important. So because the court reporter is going to type it exactly what he said. So hopefully someone's going to catch that right now.
Mr. Tuitt, you have certain important appellate rights. You have the right to have a motion for new trial, which is an argument that a lawyer will make for you to me, that there were mistakes made at trial or in your sentencing. That means we ought to do this all over again. You also have the
It looks like the prosecutors are like, hey, did you hear what he said? Did you hear that?
right to a direct appeal to the Supreme Court to make all those same arguments. You actually can do both. You and Ms. Fagan are going to talk about whether you're going to do both. And the first you do would be the motion for new trial. And if that doesn't go well for you, then you have your right to directly appeal to the Supreme Court of Georgia. You have only 30 days from today to do one of those two things, to start that process. And I'm going to ask Ms. Fagan to stay with you at least long enough to execute your wishes, file that placeholder motion for new trial or file that notice of appeal. Then we will work through whether you want Ms. Fagan to stay on as your lawyer, and I'm assuming that would be something you'd have to afford, or if you are going to hire a different lawyer or you need one appointed. It is typical that a different lawyer comes in for the appeal because one of the things the lawyer looks at is not just did McBurney make a mistake and let something in that shouldn't come in, but did your lawyer make a mistake? Was there something that she should have done that she didn't, or she did that she should not have? And Ms. Fagan can't make those arguments about herself. She's not legally allowed to. And so sometimes, I'd say more often than not, a different lawyer comes in. And that's not you having a vote of no confidence in Ms. Fagan. It's just getting another set of eyes to look at the record. You and Ms. Fagan will talk about that. I will ask Ms. Fagan to stay involved long enough, at least to file either that notice, that initial motion for new trial or notice of appeal. You've got 30 days to do that. If you miss those 30 days, those rights are gone. You also have what we call habeas rights, and that is 4 years after your conviction is final, which would be either you exhaust all your appeals, or if you don't do anything for the next 30 days, then that 4-year clock starts running. Within those 4 years, you or a lawyer you hire, you're not entitled to one, because I'll make sure you have a lawyer for the appeal I talked about. You've got an absolute right to that. But on the habeas side, you either do it yourself or you or friends or family pay for a lawyer. That habeas you don't worry about until all your appeals are done, unless you skip the appellate step. Do you, Mr. Tuitt, have any questions about your appellate rights? Okay. Ms. Fagan, will you confer with Mr. Tuitt and honor whatever his direction is for that first step?
Yes, well, I'll file the motion for new trial today.
Okay, great. And then someone on my staff will reach out to you. Initially, you may be filing a withdrawal, and then we'll sort out with Mr. Tuitt, maybe through you, is he bringing someone on board or do we need to appoint one? And we'll go whatever direction you provide.
I think initially it would be safe to appoint someone.
Okay.
And, because I expect that the arguments will have ineffective issues.
Sure.
And I expect that, that in the event that he is able to retain, then he would retain, but ultimately just to keep the process moving.
I think that's wise. You can always bring someone in at any point. Hey, my family or friends have hired so-and-so, but in the meantime, we'll look to get appointed counsel upon seeing that motion for new trial that you file.
Yes, Your Honor.
You raised two questions about Mr. Tuitt's mental health and his belongings. If he has things at Rice Street, I'll work with the sheriff's team to make sure they make their way down to Jackson. Mr. Tuitt is not going back to Rice Street. Jackson is, as you know, a diagnostic facility, and day one, they plug in with Mr. Tuitt to see how he's doing and not doing. So I'm not as concerned about that as if he was going to languish here for a few weeks until GDC came to get him. But I have it on good information that he'll be headed there right away. So I'll work with the sheriff's team to make sure that legally permissible belongings go from Rice Street down to Jackson. All right? Ms. Jones-Connor or Mr. Abadi, anything else from the state?
Obviously, I knew what you meant, Your Honor. When you were pronouncing the sentence, you said life without imprisonment. I think you meant
Without imprisonment. Well, that's not what I meant. Life without the possibility of parole. Don't get the wrong impression on that one. Life without the possibility of parole for count 1, followed by 15 years consecutive imprisonment for count 8.
then,
Okay, let's get that record straight, because that's, you never know, these loopholes and technicalities.
that this is my mistake about us, seeing if the court could ask counsel to ask members of the Tuitt support group. There were several people who supported Mr. Tuitt, which obviously is great, but they have, after they've left court, they've taken photographs of the Zoom or the YouTube, especially of Mr. Forte and his mother, and posted pictures of them online with rat emojis. They actually posted Ms. Forte's address last night saying that not only is her son a rat, but the whole family is a rat, this is where they live. So maybe we could ask a request that that not occur.
Okay.
any further.
So, Ms. Fagan, you're going to do what you think is right. Your connection to the case is limited going forward, but I know that we've got Ms. Stewart in court as well as, I believe, Mr. Tuitt's sister. And I would encourage you all to advise friends and family members. I'm not saying you all had anything to do with it, so you don't need to say anything in response. You can just nod your head saying, I've heard you, Judge. It can result in felony criminal charges if people are connected with efforts to intimidate witnesses or obstruct justice. And what was just described to me, if true, would fall into that category. So people are running into some dangerous waters if they're doing something like that. So insofar as you all have influence over people who are passionate about Mr. Tuitt, give them some good advice to dial it back. It's okay to be upset, angry, hurt. All those things are natural, but it's not appropriate to direct those feelings to people who came in here and testified under oath. If it is documented that things like that happened and it's sourced back to an Instagram account that belongs to, I'm making this up, Fred Tuitt, Fred Tuitt's gonna have some trouble here in court. So let's just keep that as quiet and safe as we can. Thank you for flagging that. I apologize for my misstatement of the sentence. Ms. Fagan, thank you again for coming into this case and from the defense side, finally moving it forward. Anything else on behalf of Mr. Tuitt?
No, Your Honor, not this time.
All right, thank you. And I would ask one last thing, Deputy Gordon, you can decide. One side of the room needs to leave first. There are only 3 folks here for Mr. Tuitt. Maybe they go first. And I'd ask the folks here for Mr. Wright to sit tight until the deputy says it's okay to go. You all right with that? Thank you.
Wait, there's Miss Ma'am right there. You see her? Girl, she's about to lose it. Wait a second, y'all. I'm sorry. Girl, she is sick.
We don't know the words to say, but we hear in Eugene. You know, I don't know, it's no separation. I feel like you guys, we should have still on the but I know from the bottom of this part, and I don't care what the streets say. I don't care. I know it. I know. And we both, all of us know what was the problem. But that didn't matter. It didn't matter. And we apologize for the things. I'm so sorry. Thank you.
All right. All right. Thank you for sharing those words.
Girl.
We're working on the paperwork. You already sent it? Word.
What was the problem? And we both, all of us know what was the problem. But that didn't matter.
Mom said something and then the daughter said, well, that was not the problem. We're sorry. I mean, wow. Okay.
And we apologize for the things. I'm so sorry. Thank you.
All right.
Mom wasn't even paying attention. Mom is the one with the red hair right here. Mom, during her apology, she's kind of looking away. Hold on.
Don't know the words to say, but we hear in Eugene. You know, I don't know, it's no separation. I feel like you guys, we should have still on the but I know from the bottom of this part, and I don't care what the streets say. I don't care. I know it. I know, and we both, all of us know what was the problem. But that didn't matter. It didn't matter. And we apologize for the things. I'm so sorry. Thank you. So
All right, all right,
We saw
thank
it.
you for sharing those words. We're working on the paperwork. Hmm? You already sent it? It's not here yet, but did you just send it?
Oh, wait, no. I got to do something.
Okay,
When the judge said life without imprisonment, I was like, ooh,
Yes,
oh,
ma'am.
okay. But yeah, I like the way McBurney, he's obviously very judicial, but he really talks to the people, he talks to the gallery, he makes sure everybody's understanding what's going on. He also helps. You know how some lawyers are like factual basis, give me the law. You can say, he gives you you can say it like this. He does help, because Fagan was struggling, and she even noted that in the appeal there could be some ineffective issues, and I concur. I don't think she did enough, even though it was a loser case because he's on video and he shot the man 6 times. So I don't know that he's going to go too far with the appeal, but in any case, I do like him. He's a good judge. Anyway, I guess that's it for that. He's sentenced to life without parole. They didn't have a choice. They didn't have a choice on that one, right? There was no choice. Are we missing anything else from this? Miss Fagan has her own case to sort out. Thank you so much, Boo. I appreciate you. Okay, somebody got a membership. What? Somebody got a membership. And who got a membership? Let's see. I don't know. Somebody got one. It's going to come up in a minute. It's going to come up. Who got a membership? Well, I guess we'll see. It's out there. Somebody's getting it. If you just got a membership, put your hand up. Let us know. Thank you, Only Me 23. I appreciate you so much. So what are we gonna do? I guess we'll come back, or there are a couple things. Oh, I did get the police report. I have not read it yet, but the young lady, the mom who in Texas with the 4 kids, 2 are now deceased. I got the whole thing. I got it last night. It was very late and I did not read it yet. If you want to go into that, Onita Romulus, she's the one who was on paternity court, and that whole thing. If you want to talk about that, we can read the police report, because I think the affidavit obviously it's going to go into a lot more detail about what actually happened. We can get into that in a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and shut this one down. I'm still trying to get my hands on the one regarding Kiona Hampton, the lady at PetSmart and Five Below. We read about that yesterday. The shenanigans that happened when Miss Ma'am held the door open for Miss Hampton, and Miss Hampton did not say thank you. And Miss Simpson unknowingly activated a fool, okay? Because Miss Hampton is not playing. Miss Hampton clearly has issues, and once she made contact with that woman, it was on go, period. It was done. She had sealed her fate because she was dealing with a crazy woman, and ended up over to the hospital, and soon after pronounced dead, if you can believe it. So If you hold a door open for someone, don't even worry about it. Do it because that's what you wanted to do or it's the right thing to do. Don't do it and try to check people on their manners because everyone doesn't have them. And also, everybody is not in a good mental condition for you to engage in conversation. And living out here in this world, we don't have time to be trying to teach everybody. Okay. If you are soft lifing out here, leave other people's kids alone. If you are truly about that soft life, leave people's kids alone unless that's your job. You don't have to teach any lessons out here. You open up a door for someone, they don't say thank you, keep it pushing. That's my words. Okay? Because that lady wanted to check that lady. That lady is now being funeralized very soon. It's unfortunate. And I'm not saying she didn't do the right thing, but trying to check people you don't know is a mistake. It's very much a mistake because people out here are running very low on critical thinking and empathy and are out here doing all kinds of weird shit, which was displayed in this particular case. Let's bring it back to the case. These were two people who were friends, and one friend decided to tell another friend's girlfriend that he wasn't shit. So he broke bro code. And he knew this woman from elementary school. So he was trying to look out. He might have been trying to move in. We don't know. We have no idea. The man was living with his girlfriend, but he was telling Miss Ma'am across the hall, who he went to elementary school, that the man that she had at her house wasn't shit. Meanwhile, he was still hanging out with him. Fast forward, they get into an argument over homeboy, Mr. Wright, breaking bro code. And guess what happened? Because he wanted to expose his friend for not doing the right thing. For what reason? We don't know. He's been dead now for 3 years. Okay. So, okay. Y'all, I'll be back. I'm going to come back. I'm going to set up a live. What time is it? It's 11. We'll do lunch at 12. Let's do lunch at 12. I'm going to set up a live for 12 o'clock. You guys hit the thumbs up for me because, again, likes do matter. Share me out. And I'll see you guys at 12 o'clock. Okay. Bye, guys.